This morning we're going to talk about seeing ourselves the way God sees us. So seeing yourself the way God sees us. We're talking about our eyes and those five senses. We're going to talk about our eyes, and we want to think about seeing ourselves the way God does. But first, I have a couple questions for you. And I'm going to write them down on here. When I say this question, it could sound confusing at first, but how does the world see us? Like people around us at school, and maybe like on our soccer teams or our softball teams, how do we feel like they sometimes see us? Like, what are the things that in the world we feel like we have to do to please people, or kind of please people in the world? I see a hand raised back there. They see us as imperfect. Anybody else? How people around us sometimes see us, like we see the world. What are things we worry about when we think about trying to please people in the world? Right here.
When it's like one imperfect thing, they always judge you.
People judge you. Yeah. What you look like. Mm-hmm. Who else got what? Back here. Both of you guys can go. What you wear. What were you going to say? Say it loud for me, sweetie. Uncool. So kind of like popularity. Yeah. By the way you treat them. Who else has one? Back here. By the way you act. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have one? Yeah, back there. Carly. Mm-hmm. Personality. Any more? Yes. Trying to be someone you're not, is that what you said? Yeah. I think that kind of looks like some of these that I wrote on here. Okay, we're imperfect, judge. No, okay. It's Galatians 2:20. I've been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who died and gave himself for me. So when I've been crucified with Christ, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in this body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who died and gave himself for me. What does that do if I live by faith in the Son of God, and if I've been crucified by Christ, but I no longer live, but I live in him, he lives in me? What does that do to all these things that the world tells me? How will I live differently? Harley. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have Jesus in me. My life will look a lot different. Reagan, were you going to say something?
I think that the weight on your shoulders won't feel as heavy because you think that, well, since God knows how I am on the inside, it doesn't matter what these things are.
That is perfect. Exactly. I can take this off, and there's tape stuck in my hair. I can take this off because I have Christ in me. I love what Reagan said. Like, God knows the inside of me. He made me. My identity gets to come in what God sees in me. Because I'm his child. I've been made new in him. And I get to be viewed in the way that God sees me as his child. And my identity is in him. And I get to live for him and not for this world and not for all these people. And so will it be easy or will it be hard still? It'll still be hard sometimes. There's still going to be those people in your class that you feel like you have to impress. Living for him, there's so much freedom because you don't have to be weighed down by all these things that people say, because you know that you are loved by a God that loves you unconditionally. His love will never waver, and he sees you as his child. Does that give you a different kind of hope than having to live to please all these people a little bit? Yeah, it does me. So today, as we're going about things, I want to encourage you to think about the way God sees you as his child, as someone that he made. And when you're in hard situations and you worry about what you look like, know that you're living for God. when you've been crucified with Christ and you no longer live. And so the freedom in that, and like for me, the weight that comes off is knowing that he's in me and I get to live by him. I have his Holy Spirit inside of me and I'm going to live by him. And I want to live to please the Lord. And I'm